soon as you walk back into Vermont, the world is so very different than it is in Washington, D.C., especially with media. And I keep getting the feeling that what media in Washington, D.C. is about is putting more emphasis on issues that ordinary Americans don't care about, and less emphasis on issues that ordinary people do care about. I gave just a funny experience. I could not walk down the streets, the hallways of the Capitol this last week without somebody asking about Hillary Clinton and her emails. Hillary Clinton and her emails. Hillary Clinton and her emails. And I call up Vermont and talk to the front desk people in Washington, D.C. at my office. I was like, well, how many calls are we getting? And virtually none. I think we have less than 5 calls. And that's all that the Washington, D.C. media can talk about. And I don't want to get into the pros and the minuses of Hillary's emails, but in my view, it is not one of the great issues facing this country. Meanwhile, we have the Trans-Pacific Partnership Trade Agreement, and the last study that I saw on this is the largest trade agreement in the history of the United States. And do you know how much attention the major television networks have paid to it?
Zero.
Not one word.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton, 24/7. Trade agreement, zero. Last year, a couple of us in the Senate wrote to the presidents of the major networks, and we said, a study says you're hardly talking about climate change at all. Scientific community tells us climate change is the major environmental crisis facing the planet. The Earth could be 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit warmer by the end of the century. Calamitous impact. You don't talk about it. How does that happen? Just yesterday in Washington in the morning, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse and I did an event with the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare. They presented us with 2 million signatures saying to Congress, do not cut Social Security. 2 million people. Do you know how much attention that got? Virtually.
I'm assuming nothing.
Virtually none.
Yeah.
Virtually none. Citizens United, this disastrous Supreme Court decision, which is allowing the Koch brothers and other billionaires to buy the American political process. Almost no discussion on television at all. So the issue to me is not so much, whether what people say on TV is right or wrong, left or right or whatever it may be. It is what do these guys inside the Beltway consider to be important? Why is Hillary's emails more important than the most significant trade agreement in American history, which, in my view, will continue the process of allowing companies to shut down plants in America and move abroad? Maybe I'm wrong on that issue, but why is, whatever your view on it, why is Hillary's emails more important? And it goes on and on. So you have all kinds of political gossip, who's raising money, who's doing this, who's doing that, and yet we run away from the issues that impact ordinary people. So you got polling out there that tells us, what do the American people want? They want to see millions of jobs being created. Well, people have honest disagreements, maybe the best way to do it, but shouldn't we be focusing on how do you create the millions of jobs that this country needs? How do you raise the wages that so many millions of working people need? What are the best ways to do that? How do you deal with income and wealth inequality? Is it important to recognize that the top 0.1% in America now own more wealth than almost the bottom 90%? Is that important? I think it is. Somebody may disagree with me. Should we be talking about that issue? Today, over 99% of all new income in the last few years has gone to the top 1%. Affordable. How do we make education, higher education, graduate school education affordable? How do we deal with student debt? Who has power in this country? Are we losing our democracy to the Koch brothers and other billionaires who are now able to invest as much money as they want in the political process? Is that a significant issue? Am I the only person in America who thinks that's an important issue? I don't think so. Yeah.